A demultiplexer, demux for short, is a digital data distributor, whose function is just the inverse of a multiplexer's function. That is, it takes one input and routes it over one of several outputs depending on the select inputs, so it is also called a one-to-many circuit. It can have a single input, D, and n outputs, Y0, Y1, and so on till yn-1, from which one output will be selected using m-select inputs, S0, S1, and so on till Sm-1, where m equal to ceiling of log of n to the base 2, and the input will be routed to this selected output. The whole circuit would be enabled or disabled using an enable input, En. Such a demux is denoted as 1:n demux. The figure shows 1:n demux equivalent circuit with one input, m select inputs, an enable input, and n outputs. Any one of the n outputs can be selected depending on the m select inputs, where the single input would be routed if the circuit is enabled. Information flow is unidirectional from left to right. The adjacent figure shows 1:n demux block diagram. A 1:2 demux selects one out of two outputs, Y0 and Y1, and forwards the single input, D, over the selected output depending on one select input, S0, since here n equal to 2, m equal to ceiling of log of 2 to the base 2, equal to 1, and the logic equations are Y0 equal to dn not S0, Y1 equal to dn S0. The 1:2 demultiplexer truth table is shown, with one input D, one select input S0, and two outputs Y0 and Y1. We see that when S0 is 0, the output Y1 is 0, and the output Y0 follows the input. If D is 0, Y0 is 0, if D is 1, Y0 is 1, when S0 is 1, the output Y0 is 0, and the output Y1 follows the input. If D is 0, Y1 is 0, if D is 1, Y1 is 1. The figure shows the 1:2 demultiplexer symbol, with one input D, one select input, S0, and two outputs Y0 and Y1. 1:2 demultiplexer using logic gates is also shown. An inverter is used to obtain not S0, D and not S0 are given as inputs to an AND gate. Its output is D and not S0, which is the Y0 output. D and S0 are given as inputs to an AND gate. Its output is D and S0, which is the Y1 output.